Making sure I can hear it. All right, there it is. Seeing it now. So let's go ahead and get started. My name is Jared. This is Engineering the Markets. It is July 14th, 2021. Let's go ahead and take a look at what happened yesterday. So we finally got our CPI data out. And for those who were not trading or didn't see the data, it did appear as if month over month, the data came in a bit hot. Ultimately, we were looking at some lower estimates. We also had a rise from the previous month. So both the increase along with the estimates were off, and we saw the market sort of take that in stride in the morning. It was an interesting morning session where if we're looking specifically at interest rates or something like the TLT, and we bring it down to a 1 minute, we really didn't see a lot of activity early on. Markets kind of grinded their way higher throughout the morning session. We did hit sort of the top, but overall the pullback was mild and there wasn't a ton of volatility. Now, that changed around noon. Let's see, this is going to be for me Central Time, so this is going to be about 1 Eastern, and things in the bond market started to really pick up, and we saw the effects of that inside of our equities market. So for TLT, we saw a sharp decline. For something like TNX, we obviously see the opposite, a sharp rise. And for context against the daily chart, we have at this time set that significant low, had the gap up a couple of days of just kind of hovering, and now we're seeing once again a bigger acceleration back to the upside. Hence why we were looking at marking maybe the top, bottom, and midpoint around 1.5 on the TNX, and why these levels may be important for us moving forward, along with how the TNX or TLT moves intraday. So while we have looked at this on larger time frames and noticed that usually these set significant lows and highs inside of the market, you can use this more as an intraday indicator on periods where this is moving quite aggressively. So for example, if we just compare this to something like the SPY, we bring this down to intraday timeframes, and then we clear this up because it doesn't carry over the style. We can see that at 12 o'clock on the TNX, when things really started to pick up, this is the exact moment that the SPY decided to basically give up its trend and basically close near the lows of the day. So we had this huge afternoon drop facilitated by what was occurring inside of the bond market. This could also be seen in the Qs, possibly taking more of that hit because of the correlation that we talked about with interest rates rising, putting a bit of pressure in some of our key tech names and some of our large market cap names inside of the NASDAQ. Now, another name that I want to call out as taking the brunt of the hit is Amazon. And while Amazon, once again, like most of the market, had a pretty strong morning session, we saw this sort of rounded reversal going on in some of these key names. Amazon has been on quite a big daily breakout, and yet yesterday we see this potential stopping point, a la Pearson fail, something that basically shows that an attempt was made to get out of a trading range. You can see this couple days of balance, and that attempt failed not only on the first test, but specifically coming lower and testing low end of the range, breaking through in that rounded reversal structure. So for market profile technicians, or for people who understand structure using market profile, the rounded reversal day, or just a period of days that has that similar structure, is often one of the best setups for going counter trend. And oftentimes counter trend is still in the larger context of retracement or a pullback. But for us as shorter term traders, we need to be aware that some of our key names that have been holding this market strong have had really poor showings based on yesterday's price action. So this area on Amazon is going to be worth watching, as Amazon is one of our key stocks, and Amazon just made new all-time highs. So is that at the moment going to be all that Amazon has to give, with the added pressure of interest rates potentially rising from here? Same ideas with stocks like Apple, but Apple specifically did not have that same collapse intraday. Yes, we saw the same downside volatility, but you'll notice pre-market opening much higher. So with all of this shuffle, we're seeing our key names not necessarily be fully correlated. Apple in particular holding much more market cap in the S&Ps, and if Apple is to continue against Amazon's price action, against the interest rate rise, and specifically just have that momentum push, we can continue to potentially go higher. But obviously, we want to see all stocks that are carrying the market forward be correlated. And we're starting to see, once again, a bit of a divergence. We have a consumer discretionary, likes of Amazon, one of the biggest ones that we have, and then the largest tech name that we have, showing some key differences intraday. This is the data point that we can use to carry forward for the rest of the week as interest rates start to show their hand, and whether or not they're going to continue to rise. So obviously, with our earnings season, we are coming into what is oftentimes referred to as that earnings rally. Apple has been rallying for quite a while, so it's going to be quite interesting to see how much more upside it has into its earnings. Amazon as well, earnings a couple days after Apple. So these stocks in particular are going to be the ones that I think you want to pay attention to, as they are sensitive to what's occurring in the bond market, but also because they're not trading the same. So normally, if they were all trading the same, let's take a look at Microsoft intraday. Similar to Apple, we see that volatility and that downside, but a very decent recovery, and so far really not giving up much. So if those two are going to be the same, we can look at just XLK and just say, okay, well, all tech stocks seem to have a similar pattern. It looks like they sort of dropped roughly the same amount, but also recovered into the pre-market today. So then we look at XLK and say, how can we utilize the volatility inside of the bond market to maybe have some intraday or even swing-based setups, even looking for counter trend reversals in one of our strongest sectors? We then go to XLY and see that because of Amazon, the structure is quite different. We had basically an engulfing day inside of the consumer discretionaries. We already looked at Amazon's chart, but another one to keep watch is Tesla. Tesla did not have a very strong session, and specifically, Tesla did not take part in the morning rally. So while Amazon was sort of trickling higher before that noon or 1 o'clock Eastern change, that thematic change in the market, Tesla had been selling off pretty much all day and closed near the lows. So some things to watch, some things that may be of interest. Normally, grouping tech and consumer discretionaries sort of gives you a more macro risk on set of sectors, and oftentimes they will trade very similar. But when it comes to what occurred yesterday, at least in the short term, that is not necessarily the case. They're actually a bit divergent, and some stocks are standing out with that divergence, Tesla specifically, but Amazon was not structurally the same. I want to see if this continues, and obviously if interest rates continue to rise, will tech take the same hits as consumer discretionaries, or will it just be the likes of Amazon and Tesla carrying this market slightly lower? Now, I'll go ahead and go back to my single chart here. We also note that yesterday we had some of our key financial names coming out with their earnings. And let's take a look at a few of those. So we'll start off with JP Morgan. Earnings coming out. So we had a 3.1 estimate, 3.78 actual. Looks like a beat inside of the EPS. So overall, strong earnings. You may expect a strong reaction. Not necessarily the case intraday, more of a range day, little bit of a chop fest intraday, and that's because, typically I would say that great earnings are going to likely be more priced in, along with larger macroeconomic pressures. The interest rates were rising yesterday into the afternoon session, and JP Morgan did catch an intraday bid. But throughout the morning session, opposed to tech, financials are doing what they normally do. Tech is rising, financials are falling. There's sort of this back and forth sector rotation, and one sector leads, one sector lags. This occurs both intraday and also in our longer time frames, the things that we're watching more carefully to see if the market is ready to give back any of this momentum move that it's had so far. Let's see, I'm actually forgetting the other two names real quick. So it's going to be Goldman Sachs for the next one. Very similar, I would say less impactful overall daily move. And once again, earnings here, very strong showing on EPS, but overall, the reaction was quite muted. We're seeing roughly, at least based on this, about a 60% beat, 50 to 60%. But overall, high volume, very muted reaction, and it seemed as if a lot of this may have been, once again, priced in. We're not really seeing any sort of takeoff or letdown on the price. So it seems as if we're fairly stable. We're not seeing a pre-market move either, no gap up or gap down. So short term, we don't really have that same volatility that we may have seen in the past. I would say specifically with other earnings, we were getting moves outside of the range, possible, key breakouts leading into trend. We saw that not only once, but twice in Goldman Sachs history. This one actually was after this, tremendous move off the lows, and we gave a little bit back after earnings. But we're not quite seeing that yet. Things seem to be a bit calmer in this earnings season. So that volatility may be coming, but we haven't quite seen the reaction just yet. With the fact that we are watching the other risk-on sectors and looking for bonds to maybe give us clues, sticking with the TLT obviously did go down as interest rates rose yesterday. I think we once again want to keep that theme of the TLT may have made a significant bottom back in late March. So far, this bottom has not been tested. That obviously set the top of some of the interest rates for the time being. We want to look at this for the time being. This, let's see, this was July 8th of 2021 as possibly setting a significant top. And we have technical reasons for believing that based on previous range highs and lows. These areas are being tested once again, and these areas have lasted, at least back in time, for periods of 6 to 9 months. So if we are seeing history repeat itself, which is sort of the underlying theme of technical analysis, if the TLT has tested this area and is not moving higher, then we need to anticipate the idea of a pullback, either back to where we came from, which is our breakout zone. You want to think maybe the 20 period moving average on the weekly chart, larger time frames here specifically for this analysis. But if interest rates truly start to pick back up on steam, and basically we see a repeat of some of those February and March accelerated moves, then the TLT will come back to test some of these significant lows. And that's when you want to think maybe the 200 period moving average on the weekly, which has been the support zone for the TLT on this recovery bounce. So the reason to reiterate this is because we obviously don't know of those scenarios quite yet, but we are seeing hints that they may form. And based on your trading style, based on what sectors and stocks you trade, you may have advantage or disadvantage based on the fact that this is starting to change direction. Remember that the advantage has been in the camp of technology ever since we've made significant lows, and more specifically when we've broken out in the TLT. The bonds and the tech stocks like to move in tandem. They're highly correlated, and this is because of interest rates and because of the lack of increase in them for borrowing money for tech stocks to basically leverage themselves to grow faster over time. But once again, if this is changing, if we see this start to collapse and roll over on higher time frames, be aware that tech stocks may once again start to give back what they've given us so far. Just something to watch. We haven't seen the big change yet in the equities market, and that's the key. But usually this is going to lead that pullback. It's going to lead that correction. You want to be aware of it before and prepare in case it does to come to fruition. So with all of that, I think we've probably beaten that one down pretty well. But looking at our VIX, still not a lot of immediate fear. We had an idea last week that if the VIX were to close a weekly candle without a spike high, this could potentially set up the stage for a larger sort of market-based fear sell-off. And we saw some volatility. That was that Thursday where the markets opened with a gap down. That was immediately bought back up, more of a liquidation break on that setup. The VIX obviously responded in kind by selling off quite aggressively. So overall, the setup remains. And the fact is, every single attempt for the VIX to spike has been met with basically downside shortly thereafter. So we're seeing equities move higher. A lot of these pullbacks have been bought, obviously all-time high in a lot of our main equity products. So with all of this, we're basically still back in that same camp of, if the VIX is at the lows, are we seeing bottoming, and can that bottoming facilitate in the short term a spike? So obviously we've got some levels here to watch. We have any significant low that was made before a big spike. And then obviously our recent lows are going to be down in the 14. So it does appear that the VIX kind of likes that 14 to 16 range to set up a potential breakout to the upside. But obviously the structure has to be facilitative in the equities market, maybe overextension, a lot of maybe euphoria and momentum once again to the upside, a lack of fear leading into the opposite, that short-term fear spike that we see. We also keep watch on the dollar. Dollar so far has not pulled back significantly. I'm actually watching this pretty much day in and day out because dollar is at this area that so far can't get above. It's been marked previously by this topping candle here, which led to the massive sell-off and the eventual lows that were set back in early 2021. But we're seeing, weekly candles with spike highs. We're not seeing closures above this level. Intraday, we're seeing stabilization, that sort of building of energy. And specifically yesterday, the dollar actually rallied quite strongly. So once again, bit of a divergence here. Why is the dollar still holding and why is the dollar still strong in a market that is at all-time highs? One, I would say similar to bonds, more leading than lagging, but definitely want to see the dollar pull back harder from here to really confirm that the markets do have that additional bit of energy to the upside. Obviously with bonds stabilizing, not necessarily seeing a rip higher. But additionally with our metals market, I'm watching this pretty closely because we are seeing gold and silver at the very least hold some of these key levels that we've fallen to, and yet the dollar is not really pulling back. So gold continues to rally. It was sort of a shorter term buy at about 1750. This was purely technical and why I left it marked on the gold chart. Let me pull up the pin just to show the fact that we had these spike highs. This was our trading range that was evaluated. We came into this and basically double bottomed. We had that second test or that first test leading into the rally. So pretty good buying opportunity if you're into the metals. I wouldn't have expected the rally to have occurred so quickly given what we know about the dollar correlation, technically an inverse correlation, but so far so good. The gold bulls are finding these moments in time against a larger sort of sell-off in gold. It's obviously still trying to reach its all-time highs. And ultimately, if the dollar is to collapse or to fall through the major lows back in 2021, gold would be one of the benefactors of that. Silver as well. Once again, there we go. This is more what I was anticipating for gold, but gold tends to kind of be bucking the trend with the dollar holding. I was expecting the metals to hold these levels, and then eventually one will choose a direction, the other will kind of follow. But not everything is black and white. Gold is just something of a little bit of an odd trader this time around. And obviously, if you were positioned well earlier, or if you were able to take advantage of this bounce, that's more of a technical setup as opposed to looking at the correlations. So into today's session, as we start to get to the last 5 minutes of our chat, we have our SPY in this position where, once again, bit of a rounded reversal intraday session. Markets may be trying to at least take a rest. And ultimately, if we do start to pull back, we just want to have some short-term targets. I want to pull it down to a 1 hour. just some short-term targets based on what we know about this move so far. So for short term, if we do start to pull back, I would say a very simple target is roughly that 430 area. Obviously, risk is going to be near the all-time highs. We would want to see more weakness in, let's say, some of the earnings that are coming out today. We have additional banks coming out with earnings. We may also want to see interest rates, if they are continuing to rise. The tech sector and consumer discretionaries are actually confirming those rounded reversal and engulfing setups to the downside, which would lead the SPY to basically pull back against its larger trend. We do have some shelves of volume around 430.5. We also have this very small little gap that formed during that more volatile Thursday and Friday sessions where we had that steep sort of liquidation break sell-off V reversal. We set up a little bit of poor structure here. So if the market is to pull back, I would expect those areas to be tested before continuing higher. And for context, that simply brings us into this area inside of the daily, which is sort of testing a couple of days lows. And if we put up an exponential, we can kind of see somewhere around a 12 to 15 exponential, which has been some decent buys in the past. We could see the candles respecting it on the sort of grinding periods of the trend, the time frames where there's not a lot of pullbacks. Usually the exponential moving averages offer some very nice just sort of respect. And if we do get sort of little pins into them, little test intraday setups, those exponentials often will be respected until a larger pullback occurs. So something to watch, something to keep in mind. The market still has pretty much all exponentials trading in the correct order with the trend, moving higher. So this is the short-term counter trend scenario with an economic catalyst, with the idea that bonds have shifted slightly, and we saw a bit of that reaction in equities yesterday. I would say same thing for the Qs. The Qs put in that same candle structure, but have been our stronger mover so far. We can see 12 period exponential holding very well. This is going to be that light blue exponential. It's actually given you a few opportunities back on daily candles, and even this liquidation break did hold in this area. So this is when the daily simple moving averages are not enough. You have to actually look at this more as a weighted moving average approach. But these buys have been nice. We've obviously seen continuation. But short term, if we look at maybe some volume profile, see the past 30 days, if we are to get a pullback, I would say, once again, we need to lose these larger shelves of accepted value. The fact that we've put in larger value shelves basically means that losing them is going to be a bit more challenging. This is our strongest index, obviously. But if we do start to get down into the lower 360s, 358s, there is a pocket, and that would be that sharpest pullback back to about 355. This puts us at the VA high over the past 30 days. And the idea here is that we're simply pulling back to the daily 20, which we have not done in quite a while on the Qs. This would bring us back to, it actually brings us back to that liquidation low. It doesn't even bring us to the 20 period, depending on how long it takes for it to occur. So some scenarios to watch and keep in mind. IWM, still very much range bound. Actually, one of the weakest indexes yesterday. Moving averages are not in a trend structure. So while we are trading below them and rejecting them at this time, that we have seen a lot of this chop before. This doesn't necessarily mean we're going to break down from here. but you can see that these moves higher have been sold into, moves lower have been bought, and we are somewhat mid-range, so it's a bit challenging to evaluate. And then finally, the Dow closing very strongly past couple of sessions, seeing a little bit of that pullback. I would say the Dow more sensitive to maybe some of the industrial names, which did see some selling yesterday. You want to think Caterpillar, Deere. There are some other names in the Dow more specific. If we pull up just a quick scan, it's going to be in the D's, obviously. Pull this out and we look at sector, go down to industrials. We're going to have Caterpillar, Honeywell, Triple M, BA, which saw some weakness, and then I believe that's it. So just those four. But those do hold significant market cap. They're not necessarily the biggest names, but the weakness there was seen sort of industry-wide with Caterpillar, BA, Triple M, not necessarily weak, but not necessarily strong. Honeywell, and then I was watching Deere as well. Started giving back previous session. So some things to watch moving into the rest of the week. We have earnings. Keep those earnings on the back pocket. Today it looks like we have already gotten BlackRock and Bank of America. We're probably still waiting on Citi and Wells Fargo, two more financial heavy hitters. So if financials are not really catching a bid after their strong earnings so far, if any of these banks come out with weak earnings, it's possible that those will get sold into even harder, especially in a more correlated environment, which we have been. So some things to trade and watch today. Hopefully that information was useful, but my name is Jarad. This is Engineering the Market. Stay tuned for pre-market prep with Carlos and Norm, and we'll talk more tomorrow.
All right. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the pre-market prep. I hope everyone's having an amazing morning. Hope you had a great day yesterday. Good morning, Norm. How you doing today? Oh, I can't hear you. Hold on.
No, it's my
Oh, there
it's
you
my
go.
fault. Sorry,
All right.
I'm a little
Perfect.
bit behind. I about 2 minutes before, right as Jared was wrapping up, I spilled a freaking drink all over my keyboard. So I've been cleaning that mess up. So we'll see. Hopefully, it can only get better from there, right?
That is very true. Hopefully, that's the worst part of your day, and the rest is all
Yeah,
good and
let's
dandy.
hope.
So, all right, guys, welcome to the pre-market prep. Let's get right to it. Let's look at our gappers list this morning. Not as much as yesterday. Yesterday was just messy, a lot of stuff all over the place. And we kind of spoke about this early on. We suspected that it was not going to be an amazing trading day, and it was just that. It was a lot of chop in the stuff we were watching. There are a couple of tickers that traded amazing. We'll look at Apple. That was just unreal what that stuff is doing. But for the most part, not a lot going on. So we'll get into this, see what's happening there. Let's take a look at our watches from yesterday, starting with Neo. Let's get our 5 minute in here. That's the 60. Here we go. That's the 5, and then we'll hop into our zoom in here into our 5. No, that is not Neo. This is Neo. There we go. So that is Neo, guys. Again, just a little bit of chop, and we saw this all around. Had a good pre-market action. Looked like it was going to do something. Kind of a rising devil here. Does try to get above some levels here in the pre-market that we had. Was not able to, and just look at the slam down below the VWAP. So it was a short, but just not a clean one. It's not really clean because every candle looks like it's going to pull back, and or it's overlapping the previous candle, although you're on a downtrend. So again, so you have a great entry on this and really be patient with it, right? Does retest the VWAP one more time around 1 o'clock or so. Then here you get a much decent drop, all the way down to 45, guys, from 46. So again, beautiful drop there on Neo, but for the most part, a pretty choppy start to the open of the day. Apple was the best probably stock that we had yesterday. This thing just continues to break new highs, guys. Our all-time highs sitting now at 147. 48 or so, somewhere around there. Again, just took off in the morning, guys. You can see here the squeeze above 145, continuing to just break new highs here. This morning already is up 2% with 2.2 million shares traded. It's actually that this is not the all-time highs. All-time highs now is sitting at 148.55. So 148.78 to be exact. So Apple again trading very well. We'll definitely keep an eye on that one again today. Space had good volume in the pre-market action. They give you a drop here, losing some levels, and then takes off here after bouncing off 37. That was an area of support in the pre-market, resistance and support there. It does break the high of the day and then just slams right back down to the VWAP yesterday. Had great volume. I suspect Space is going to continue to have amazing volume for the next coming couple of days. We'll see how that's going to play out. Here's JP Morgan. The banks actually did okay. This is good trading for JP Morgan, guys. They normally don't do a whole lot, but this right here is amazing trading for JP Morgan. They had a nice pop here. They tried to get going. They were not able to, and then you have the nice drop that slams in. So that was nice there on JP Morgan. Does find a double bottom here towards the later part of the day, midday, and that's able to trade real nice there. Here's BA. BA was okay. It was not great. I mean, they had a catalyst, but for the most part, again, a lot of chop yesterday. BA was something that did not look all that good. And then we also had AMC here, guys. AMC is just chopping around for the most part. They're throwing some volume around even this morning. Again, they're down another 2.5. So we'll have to see how that is going to play out in AMC. The fun might be over for a little bit at least. We'll see on the daily today. They are on our gapping down list, of course, 2.5 this morning with amazing volume. So that is what we had yesterday. Let's see what we have here. Daniel, thank you so much for your continued support as usual. Oops. Sorry. Here we go. Dropping the $5 bomb there. Appreciate it. So good morning to you as well. And also, Harry, thank you so
Harry,
much.
thank you.
We're not at $100 for the week, 500 by the end of the week. Norm and Carlos will dance. So
Never, I don't remember ever saying that.
I don't neither. Why is this screen on? Let's get rid of this. That's an old screen. There we go. I do not remember saying that neither, so I'm not sure where that's coming from. But guys, let's get to it. Let's thank you so much for the support, guys. Really appreciate it over on YouTube. And if you've been joining us since 8 a.m. this morning, please make sure to hit that like button. It really helps us out here on the YouTube
No,
channel to
Jared, you
grow
don't.
our community. And so definitely appreciate you guys doing that. All right, let's get to the market pulse. Guys, it is an exciting time for the SPY. As we can see, we just continue to crush it here. Norm, what's the latest and greatest?
Yeah, man. So we just had PPI numbers come out. They came out a little hotter than expected. I'm confused by this big pop we just got. So we'll see how this pans out. Maybe the numbers I saw were wrong. I did spill something, like I said, on my keyboard. Maybe it shorted out and gave me funky numbers, or it's just causing funky lines in DAS with the SPY popping on big volume there. The big thing today, we do have Jay Powell giving congressional testimony this morning. That's at noon, I guess this afternoon. So that is at 12 Eastern. So I am curious how that affects the market. I know they're going to be talking a lot about inflation and concerns there over it being transitory, aka temporary, or sustained. So it should be interesting. We'll see how it goes.
All right, we sure will. Let's get to our list this morning, guys. Start with what's gapping up today. JZXN this morning, and I don't recall. Yeah, I did not link up my trade ideas, so let's do that. Unfortunately, you have to do it every time. The minute you close your platform or something, you have to relink this. But
heart stinks.
yeah, it's worth it. How many times we look through some of these tickers, it's just worth going through a little bit of a headache there. So I think we're set there. Let's minimize this, and yeah, we're good to go. All right, here's JZXN this morning. Already, I don't like the daily on this one. I don't like the price action at all. I don't like the volume on the daily neither. And pre-market this morning, we're getting some good volume, guys. Up 36% right now. 7.8 million shares traded right now. So it's got some good volume. Again, I'm not a fan of it. I don't like the daily. 7.2 million shares float. Let's delete our stuff from yesterday, guys. Remember, this is the new way to doing it now. We have a hold shift, highlight everything, and then we hit Control X. Don't hit delete, because delete doesn't work. It just does something real funky. You hit Control X and you're clear there. So yeah, I'm not sure about this one, guys. Low flow for today. I don't like the fact that it's dropping as much right now. It needs to find some support. I'll put it on here, but most likely might not stay there this morning. Nothing else looks good on this besides the pre-market action right now and the volume. Everything else looks horrible on this one, which is okay for low.
They do have a catalyst. They have partnered with a Chinese company on electric vehicle battery swap station network in China. So at least they're moving on some sort of a catalyst.
Yeah, that actually could be good, because sometimes they're not doing any of that. Zila, or XELA this morning, XLA, I'm not sure the best way to pronounce that one, but they're up right now 16%, 14 million shares traded at the moment. They're getting above that $5 mark. And what I like here is that these guys been actually doing okay on the daily. They don't trade all that well. They are a lower flow stock sitting at 23 million shares flow. So I am going to put it next to JZXN. Norm, is there any news on these guys? I mean, they seem to be holding their pop here for the last couple of days. So I'm not sure what's driving them, but good volume the last for the month of July, at least, right on here. So we'll see if we have anything there. SGOC this morning. We looked at this before, guys. It just doesn't look great. Pre-market right now 1.5. It is up 5.8 million shares traded. It is not a low flow stock. I'm sorry, no. Yeah, it's not a low flow stock, sitting at 47 million. I'm not sure, guys. I definitely do not like this daily. Let's see how they traded yesterday. So yesterday it sold off. It doesn't seem like a bad sell-off here. Volume was very early on, then it does die down, so that's not good. Now, I'm not sure. I'm not a fan of it, guys. I'm gonna keep it off my list for now. We do not have shares for sure on this one, so I'll keep it off for the most part. SBSW this morning, they are gapping up 4.7, 136,000 shares traded. Their daily's okay, breaking out here a little bit. We've seen this ticker before. What is this? This is Stillwater doing business as...
Yeah, no, it's a shitty South African gold miner, dude. Run.
Yeah. So no good here, guys. Let's find something else better to trade. Baba this morning. Oh man, Baba, look at that, guys. This is definitely hot today. Up 3.6, 923,000 shares traded. Look at the bounce that Baba is getting today. So one of the better Chinese stocks to trade. They can trade very clean. Usually the other ones are a little bit, I know I'm gonna be very careful here. Usually the ones are a little bit funky, but this one is actually pretty decent. So if you like Baba, guys, I think it is in play. I don't like to trade it just because the way it sometimes moves, right? It can move a little funky.
Oh my God.
So I'm going to put it as a possible this morning. And what I'm going to do here, guys, to redeem myself so I don't get any hate mail, I'm just going to throw this out. Just remember that this from Norm right here. So if this clears me of
Oh,
all
at least you're not
wrongdoing.
doing the one I sent you last night.
Oh, no, I haven't seen that one yet. Which, oh, no, no, I'm not, can't do that one. Yeah, I saw that. Can't do that. That would get us banned. Atos. So Baba's good, guys. Good volume, great pop. Atos this morning, again, they're popping out. I like their daily for a possible breakout. I don't think they trade very well, guys. I think they're pretty much crap for the most part. Their daily, their intraday yesterday, not too bad. I can't say it looked horrible here because they had a nice little breakout here from this consolidation. So maybe a continuation today. Has anyone traded this successfully? I haven't. So I'm not sure about keeping this one. I'll put it on a possible. Let's see what you guys have here. If you guys have traded that at all in the recent days. American Airlines coming in here. They're up 3.4. A little bit of a pop here after just getting crushed over the last couple of weeks. We've seen that with them. For some reason, they just keep dropping here. But they're up 3.4 this morning, and I do like the volume of 1.2 million. So I am going to add that on here, guys, on our main. And then we got some good names I want to see here. We have BC, not this one, BCTX. This is not a good name. I just want to see what it's doing. That's nothing. That looks like pure garbage there. We'll skip that. Plug is decent. Plug is decent. Maybe not a main one, but maybe a possible. SGOC, we looked at this, no good. TLRY, I know that the pot stocks were a little bit active yesterday, so let's look at TLRY this morning. They are up slightly, not great volume. Let's take a quick look at CGC, see if there's anything going on there. Also not looking good. Horrible volume on CGC, so we'll keep those off. All right, gapping down, AHPI. I know this is one we looked at before. It doesn't look very good, so we'll skip on it, guys. Low flow. It just looks like garbage right now, guys. Really, really bad. If we look at the daily yesterday, they had a nice little breakout, as you can see here in the intraday, but for the most part, it's just, I don't trust this one. SRAC, another low flow sitting at 17 million. No volume, guys. Again, low flow stock. We need heavy, heavy volume. We are not getting that on this one today. OSAP was very active yesterday. And I saw Brian traded a couple of times in here, took a couple of swings on this one. For the most part, now they're down 6.5. You do have shares for sure. So that is interesting on this one. Again, reminder, it is a 3.1 million shares float. So you want to be very, very careful.
And that's also the one that's got the horrendous daily. If you go back on it, just the funkiest chart of all time.
Yes, yeah. So this is just, guys, very careful with this. I don't know what is going on there. I don't want to have no part of that.
Megan described it perfectly. Oh man, it's so gross. I don't know if she's talking about the picture of my ribs, since she's our in-house vegan chef, or that chart. Probably both, but either way. Yeah, that's nasty, Megan.
It is nasty. That is, again, just pure garbage there. All right, guys, here we go. Let's take a look at MDIA, right? So this one on here, we saw this yesterday. Actually, I skipped one. I skipped Otley. Otley here is also not looking great, guys. Down 3.1, 168,000. Large flow stock, but again, I just don't see a good daily in the pre-market action is also wacky. MDIA this morning, they are down 6%. Had a huge day yesterday. Let's see. I took them off my list. Let's take a look how they traded. So I did not see their action. It looks like everything was pretty much just slamming down here. So again, without looking at the price action, not sure how good it was. It is a low flow stock sitting at 1 million. You do have shares for sure, which is a scary thing on these type of stocks, guys. Be very, very careful. Sometimes you think, oh, this is going to go back to $4, and you could get a massive squeeze here. You could still be right, and your timing could be just horribly off, and you could pay big time for it. So just be careful with that. AMC, I think, is worth watching. I think this thing is going to be very active. Already 1.3 million shares traded. They are down 2.8. So we'll throw AMC on here as well. Blin, BLIN, it was also active yesterday. This morning, not doing a whole lot, so I'm going to keep them off my list as well. All right, guys, not a whole lot on here that looks good. Norm, you have anything on your end that you like this morning?
Yeah, I've got a few. I mean, Space has been active, obviously, for a couple of days. See if that does anything. We're on the third day, so it might not be that great. Delta Airlines, Delta released earnings this morning. They actually had a pretty good business update, so that could be interesting. AAL pre-released last night. I think they're on the 22nd, but they said they're expecting to be above the range, so they're popping this morning.
Nice.
And BAC also, BAC and WFC with earnings this morning. So,
all right, excellent.
Those are mine. I know a few are throwing out
Yeah.
other banks like Citi, but
Citi's getting some volume here.
Yeah.
It's nice. They have earnings too. They're just moving on news from Bank of America and West Fargo.
they had earnings. Yeah,
They had earnings as well. Okay. All right. So we'll throw the banks here, guys. We'll take a close look at them later. We'll keep one in our main list. I have them all right now on our secondary list, but we'll move one up just to keep an eye on that overall sector and what's going on there. All right. Let's take a look here on our chat, guys. Starting with Kim S. You're giving us NEO this morning. Let's take a look at NEO so far. Right now, NEO is popping up. No, actually pretty much flat at the moment. It was 776,000. I think NEO is worth having as a secondary list. We'll see where that goes there for the most part. So we'll keep NEO there, 776,000. Next we have, is BTB, is that a ticker or what's this? BTB? Oh, guys, yeah, CBTB, but man, this is just not a great trading stock here on BTB. I definitely do not like what I'm seeing there. I don't think it looks clean at all. So you want to be very, very careful with this one. So we'll skip on that one. Apple. Let's take a look at Apple. I think
Apple's on fire, dude.
You know, my mother is holding Apple from like 119. She calls me every day. Should I sell? I'm like, no, just hold and wait from like 119 or something. So she's on Robinhood, by the way, on Robinhood. So she's doing her thing there. Apple's good, guys. Definitely going to add Apple onto the list here. Thank you so much, Penn, for the fan emoji there. Appreciate that with a $10 bomb. Was that Jobelly? Am I saying that right?
Jay Hobley.
Jay Hobley. So hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. Thank you so much for that. Appreciate you guys with the support.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. All right, so we have Apple.
Never seen it dance like that before.
I know. I'm just like, wait a minute. That's pretty neat. I don't even know how you do that. DTSS. What do we have here? Ben, DTSS. This is what's the float on this? I've seen DTSS before. They have news. DTSS has 5G news. Corey's telling us here. All right, so let's see DTSS, and they are 6.4, so they are a low flow stock. We'll throw it on here, guys. It's good when the low flows do have a catalyst, so we'll see it. We'll put it on here. They got great volume right now. They're up 58%. Let's see where it goes. Good volume right now. Okay, let's head on down. That's Apple. Hamish, we have Citibank from you. That's good. Street, you're giving us MU, QCOM, and TDOC. I'm just going to take a few of these. MU, I don't think MU is really in play, so I'm going to skip on down. I'll go to your next one. QCOM this morning. All right, so I see you like the daily on these, but the volume is not really there. Now, QCOM's daily looks nice, possible breakout, but the volume is just not good at the moment. So I'm going to skip on that one. And TDOC, guys, I'm just not a fan of TDOC. It doesn't trade very well intraday. So again, does that mean that you cannot trade it and make out well? But it takes a different style of trading. Yeah, it's a tough one, you know. So just be very, very, very careful with that one. All right, here we go, guys. Let's look at Fabio Italy. You're giving us a few.
Nathan.
Nathan, thank you very much for the $5 bomb. I have somehow I can't transfer these over to show on the screen with these new ones you
with
guys
the
are using.
animation.
Yeah, with the animation. The system does not let me transfer that over. We'll figure that out. But thank you for that, man. I really appreciate that. For those that cannot see it, I'll show you what this looks like, man. It's pretty neat. So there it is, Nathan. Thank you. Appreciate that. Look at this one here. #1 fan from Jobely. Thank you very, very much. Appreciate you guys. All right, so T-Dot, guys, again, just not a real good one. Let's go to Oxy. Oxy's actually in play. I do like Oxy. So that looks good. They're moving pretty nice this morning. 237 for this stock, which is decent. AMD, Microsoft. We'll take a look at those. You know, I think AMD is getting into a bit of a consolidation here. So I have not been adding it to my list recently. We need to wait for a breakout. I'm sure Peter's going to be watching it. He sees something great. He's going to call that out. So I'm going to leave it as is right now. We Microsoft, and we do have Apple already. Let's take a look at Microsoft. Microsoft is nice too. You can add that on there. I just don't want to add too many tech companies on here. We'll do that as possible. Alfredo Apple, we have Miguel is giving us LI. LI not doing a whole lot right now. I like their volume. I think they're stuck within a consolidation between the highs and lows of the last 2 trading days. So not all that great at the moment. Viacom, What do we have here? Yeah, not a whole lot of volume on this one. I don't think it's really in play today, so we'll skip on that one. Apple, we do have Dow earnings. That's good. Oxy is good. X, let's take a look here on X. I like X, but not today. I don't think they're really in play this morning, so we'll have to skip on that one. Moving on down, we have Apple, we have American Airlines, we have, thank you, Edwin. Thank you, Edwin. That's good. Tesla. What's Tesla doing today? Tesla on the daily looks okay. Pre-market, again, it's just wrapping itself around this previous day close line. DD this morning, what do we have here? DD so far is up down 1.3, 510. I'm not sure about this one, guys. Again, it looks like it had a decent day yesterday. Actually, it looks pretty interesting here without looking at the price action. Had a nice little breakout here, a couple of consolidation areas for you to get in on. So that could have been interesting, but for the most part, I don't see anything overly exciting this morning on it. Their daily, maybe their daily, right? Their daily possible breakout. Yeah, you know what? Their daily possible breakout, that could be interesting. I am going to add DD right on here. So, okay, perfect. All right, guys, that is what we have. That is from our chat room. Let's go over to YouTube and see what you guys like this morning. Jarad, let's start with you. You're giving us MINN this morning. And what do we have here? Oh, man, are you showing me the worst stock that could possibly be this morning, right? Because you've been with us for some time, so I know you know what you're doing. But this is probably a joke that you're sending, or you're probably asking me what the hell's happening here. I agree. This is no good. Be careful with that. It's just madness. Prasama Kumar, you're giving us Baba, which
I've never had anybody give us a Minnesota anything like this. There's got to be the wrong ticker, because this is the Mayors and Power Minnesota Municipal Bond ETF.
Yeah, I agree.
It's a typo, right?
100%.
MINM. There you go.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm like, yeah, I'm surely that's not right.
He's been with us for some time. He knows that
he's a bond of an ETF of another bond.
Send us that. All right. So this one here, much better. Up 46%, guys. 8 million shares traded. Let's take a look what the flow is this morning. If we take a look here, they are 11.3. So they're gonna take a spot right over here in our low flow pie. We'll come back to that one a little bit later. All right, what else, guys? Citigroup we do have on deck. That's on our secondary list. Time at 8:58. We got 2 more minutes before we go to our community announcements and events. OXBR. What is this? OXBR. What's the float on this? Does not look like it's a low flow stock. Looks like it's something. Oh no, it is a low flow stock. So right now, 13 million shares traded. Again, like any low flow stock, we just need to see how this is going to trade. I don't like the pre-market action right now. Looks a little bit funky. That's what I thought it was, a larger flow, because usually when you have these lower price stocks and a large flow, they tend to do a lot of this. You see how much wicks we have and less bodies, opposed to a regular low flow stock like this one. This is a beautiful low flows price action. You see that? That's an ABCD pattern. That looks nice. That other one doesn't look great. I don't like the wicks on that one. So you want to see something more like this. This is trending very well. So I'm going to keep that off my list for now. The other ones here, XELA also looking very good, guys. Look at the way that pre-market is building there with that action. So you're not seeing a lot of wicks, right? Even this one on here, which is not looking great because it's losing all kind of support. So we don't want that. We want to see ABCD patterns after ABCD patterns. That can happen a little bit later. These candles are a whole lot better than what that other one looks like, XOBR. So if you look at this one again, I just don't like what I'm seeing here as far as the candles, right? And with these low flow stock, guys, be very picky. If you're going to be trading them, we don't recommend you trade them when you're starting out, but if you're going to trade them, be very picky. They have to look, they have to look very good. So don't settle for anything less than a great pre-market action. With that said, let's go over to our community events. We'll come back and chop up this list. Okay, so far, not a bad list.
All right, guys. The times are cut off here, but all these are at 8 p.m. because it's all the normal time stuff. So we've got Thor, his level 2 from last night. It should be posted very soon if it's not already. And then next week, Probabilistic Thinking and Trading by John Hiltz. Excellent educator. Can't wait to see that one. Should be very good webinar. Tonight, 8 p.m., we've got Mike. Sorry, my brain is fried right now. I'm confused by some of these things, and I'm all these people talking about dancing. Tonight, we've got Proper Psychology and Trading by Mike, 8 p.m. Eastern in the webinar room. Then next week, Nate, our mindfulness expert, will be talking about accepting stress and responding. All right. If you want to participate in the member trade of the day, trade of the week, take a screenshot of your best trade of the day. Obviously, it should have entries and exits. So we see the trade, that put any commentary you can to describe it. Post it on Twitter, tag at Bearable Traders, at Mike B_BBT, and at Norm BBT. Also use hashtags BBT family. Day trading, hashtag stock market, and a hashtag Norm's not dancing. We'll announce the winner every Monday. We'll announce the winner every afternoon in the room and on Twitter, and then on Monday in the room and on Twitter as well for the trade of the week after the team votes on it. No, Peter's taste in music is very lacking, Amir. Thank you, though. All right. If you want to try the room out for a week, 7 calendar days, 5 trading days, use a promo code PREMARKET24. That'll get you a discount on the intro membership, which is 7 calendar days, 5 trading days. Just cancels after that. Also gives you access to the live onboarding and technology classes every Monday night, 8 p.m. Eastern. And while the banner's still not up on the site, it doesn't do it automatically. You can still use the promo code Fireworks40 to get 40% off the annual elite membership.
All right, excellent. Thank you, Norm. All right, guys.
Sorry, I don't like Christopher Cross.
Oh, that's Peter. Peter's taste and stuff there. Oh man. All right,
well,
guys,
we're just slightly different. I mean, he's not that much older than me, but it's just that slight difference in whatever. I can't do it. I mean,
Jarad is out of control. He really is. Guys, let's get to it. Shout out to Jarad with a $10 bomb. There's someone saying dancing. All right, let's get to it, guys.
In all fairness, Peter probably hates my music, so.
Yeah, agree. Let's get to it, guys. Our list here, we have American Airlines. That looks good. Love the volume this morning, up 3.4. AMC. I think this will be fun to watch as we see if this is going to collapse back down to its regular trading range after being up here in the 50s. They're doing pretty good stuff. Here is Space this morning. I think will also be good. Great volume right now, down 1.3. We're at an area consolidation on Space, so I like this here. That was a prior resistance that can now become support. We saw it supporting there yesterday. Let's see if this thing is going to hold. Just dancing below the previous day close at the moment. So we'll see. Here's Delta right now. That's looking good. I got Delta and American Airlines. Maybe I'll put Delta as a possible today. American Airlines has slightly better pre-market action and better volume for sure. Apple is good, guys. I mean, this thing is just unreal, guys. 148 right now. Just look at this daily. Look at this daily. It just came here, crushed some of these areas of resistance that it had in the past, took off, and looking to go even higher as it continues to break all-time highs here. Here's Oxy, so we'll definitely keep an eye on that one. Oxy, I think Oxy looks interesting, guys. 258. They're leaving this consolidation area here. We'll have to see how that overall oil market is doing. Maybe a possible though, right? Because it could be a hit or miss depending how just that market is doing. So we'll put it as a possible for now. We'll bring it off our list here. And we have DD also on here. This one is okay, guys. They are consolidating. They're on top of this consolidation here that they had over the last 2 weeks or so, just banging their heads between 11 and 1250. Let's see if they can get the strength to jump out of this. That would be nice. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. That creates our top 6 there. Secondary list. Let's fine tune this a little bit more. Oxy will keep on here, guys. I like what's happening there. Let's take a look over at Neo this morning. Neo's looking okay. I think it's worth having as a possible here. Daily is also interesting as we're sitting on this great area of support here between June. Most of June we sat right above this here. The last couple of days we've been just trying to stay above that. Today we're dipping lower and coming right back to that previous day close. Let's see if we can maintain that. All right, we have a couple of banks here. We have Citigroup, we have West Fargo, and we have Bank of America. Usually Bank of America is the one that gets the most volume, but I tend to find Citigroup and West Fargo to trade a little bit cleaner at times, right? I do like Citigroup's possible breakout on the daily here. That looks interesting, opposed to like WFC, right? They're going to have some struggles getting above some of these highs here. Citigroup is already slamming up against this here. So they might have a cleaner run to 72 if that is what we're looking to do today. So I'm going to move Citigroup up. I want to watch one of the banks at least. We'll move Citigroup. We'll get rid of it from here in our possibles list. West Fargo. I'm going to keep I'll keep Bank of America for now. We'll get rid of West Fargo. We'll keep Bank of America because the sheer volume that they have here, and they are down 1.9. So we'll see what happens there. Plug, guys, could be interesting. I like the daily on this one. Pre-market is okay. Baba is definitely in play, guys. I'm not gonna keep it on my list, but if you have it on yours, it's absolutely fine. This one is trading very nice this morning. If you like trading Baba, this is what you want to see. Great volume, 1 million shares traded. Don't let this candle mess you up. It's kind of throwing the pre-market action off. If you zoom out a little bit, you're gonna have a nicer pre-market action than this just flat thing over here. So that is good. I'm gonna remove it from my list just to make space. Atos, I don't think actually I changed my mind. This was 10 minutes ago, this did not look that good, but now it's looking all right. Okay, and what's the float on this? Let's remind ourselves. Atos, it is sitting at 120. So this could be interesting, guys. Breaking out of this 6. I did not like it earlier, but now it's looking a little bit nicer. So we'll keep it here. I'm going to move it at the top possible, guys, because it is trading very well. I do like the volume. We're up 8.5, so we'll see. We'll see if this break, guys, for real here, and if we're looking to stay above this level here. This 680, very important. Got to stay above that. We come back down here, we just might be pure chop, but if we can stay above that, then this push can be nice towards the top there. So we'll keep Atos there. And then we have Microsoft down here. I like the daily on Microsoft. We'll keep it as a possible. I'm not sure how strong this thing is going to be today. And if we are getting a move like this, I suspect Apple is going to move like that. So I'm going to have my eyes on Apple instead. You know what? I'm just going to remove it. Daily looks great, guys. If you have space on your list, definitely keep it. I'm going to remove it from mine, and I'm sure someone is going to be watching in the community that can call it out if they see something great there. All right, got a couple of low floats here with some good numbers. Min, M-I-N-M, this one here, 42%, 8.2 this morning. Getting a little bit wacky here as it's starting to kind of trend downwards a little bit, so I do not like that. DTSS, wow, on fire, guys, already. Here up 86% and continuing. This is a great pre-market action. They have a catalyst, right? So that is definitely helping them get going today. Exla had a great start here. Great pre-market action. ABCD patterns after ABCD pattern. Pulling back a little bit here. That's okay. We just want to see this pattern continue, find some support. JZXN finding some support now. So I think we can keep these on here for now. Let's keep them on there. I think they all look decent. This one I'm not sure though. This one, it's a little bit choppy. So again, I'm just going to get rid of this one. We can't watch all these low flow stocks, but DTSS stays. This is dropping a little aggressive. I don't like that. Let's get rid of that one for now. If it gets hot, somebody can call it out. And JZXN, I like the bounce we're getting here. Let's see if this is for real. We're looking to get to VWAP or high of the pre-market. All right, that is our list. A little one too many on our main list. We'll look at it again in a second. But now let's go over to our moderators lineup and let's see what we got going on there. Let's fine tune this here, close this, disable that video, and we'll resize this. And we'll bring it over here. As I'm doing this, guys, over on YouTube, thank you so much for the continuous support. Make sure you hit that thumbs up if you have not done so already. If it's your first time here, consider subscribing. As we do this every Monday, every Monday through Friday when the market is open and starting at 8 a.m. and we are with you live as well. So that's pretty exciting to have you here, guys. All right, so John is looking at Baba. Nothing else really looks good, and Baba looks amazing. Dima is looking at American Airlines, Space, Plug, and Apple. Mike is looking at Apple, Microsoft, and Baba for his break of high scanners, break of high strategy. Tiffany's looking at Baba, American Airlines, and Apple. And Thor's looking at Space, Apple, Neo, Delta, West Fargo, Bank of America, and Baba. I think that's one of the longest lists that Thor has put together there. And Thor had an amazing presentation, guys. If you missed it, you can catch the recording. It will be up on our education center. It's just an amazing webinar about level 2 and everything about it. So if you missed it, a must watch. IPO for today, IINN, as Peter is looking at there. And still looking too early, Carlos. Yeah, I did get, right? 9:10, 9:08 we started. I did get very early to our moderators lineup list. So yeah. We'll wait for you to finish that up, and we'll definitely come back and announce anything else that we might have there. All right, so that is what we have so far. Let's take a look at our main list. I think I want to make this smaller. American Airlines looking good, guys. AMC this morning, that's looking good as well. Space is looking okay. Delta Airlines is looking all right. I have two. I have American and Delta. We'll move Delta down. Let's do that. I like the American Airlines much better this morning. Great volume. There we go. So that created some space there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Perfect. That's what I need. I need 6. DD continues to crush it here, guys. Hitting that previous day close, trying to get going there. That is nice. Let's see if they can break out of this. Actually, this previous day close line is what they need to break out of right on there. Oh, we haven't done levels, have we? No, we have not done levels. I thought we did. No, we did not. But you know what? You know what I thought we did not do levels? Because everything on here has levels from yesterday. That's why I thought we did levels. Corey, thank you so much, man. You're paying attention. Let's get to some levels here. And also Vinuda, hopefully I'm saying that right, is also reminding me that we did not do levels. That's why we got there so quick to the moderators lineup. All right, guys, but some of these levels, our job is done for us here, guys. Look at American Airlines. We're slamming up against this level here, 2095, which we had from yesterday. This was been a strong level of support and resistance. You can see that here and here. And then outside of that window, not much has changed. We have 2141, we have 2181, which you should have from your list. And we also have highs and lows from the last 2 trading days right on here. And we have 1956, which actually should be a little bit higher right over here. 1966. There we go. Put that a little bit higher there. Now that's on the daily. Maybe we had a pre-market low down here or something, but 1966 is good. So that's American Airlines. You're pretty much set there. Let's take a look at AMC this morning. You have too many levels. Let's get rid of some. Let's clean this up. That's a little bit better. Low of the pre-market, 36.79. 75 to be exact today. We're slamming up against the low of these 2 days here and here at the moment. That's creating some resistance. Then above that, we do have our pre-market high here at 39.21. You can mark it, but really I like the previous day close here. Previous day close is really where the action should be at, right? And then above that, guys, you have the highs and lows from the last 2 trading days. These last 2 trading days here are doing a pretty good job of creating levels for you. So AMC is good and set to go. Here is Space. Let's clean this up as well. There it is. High of the pre-market slightly above the previous day close over at 38.32. And then towards the bottom, we do have our low of the pre-market at 36.83. So we'll slam a level there. And then we'll also come down here and look at this area consolidation, right? Just happening here. This was well for the whole entire month of June, as we mentioned earlier, and we got a great area of just constant resistance happening here that's now trying to become support at least. The low of this consolidation, we have it around 35. We got a couple of days, getting below that over at 34.35. So you got 34.61. And then you have a 34.35. That's the bigger range right on here. A couple of days hitting that there. So that is a Space, guys. You're pretty much set there towards the top. The highs and lows from the last 2 trading days right on here. Got you covered there. Apple. You just remove whatever you have here. All you have to do is just add the low of the pre-market, 145, and then just the high of the pre-market right now, which is your all-time highs at 148.78. And we'll see where this thing is going to go today. Great volume already, guys. 3 million shares traded on Apple so far. Here's DD. DD, you don't need to add much because there's not a whole lot of data on the daily, right? Recent IPO. And you can see here, guys, previous day close, great area of resistance as we spoke about earlier. And then you have your support down here around $11. Let's see if we can break out. And you don't have nothing in here. You can go into the intraday on these 2 dates here, 1 and 2, and see if there's any action in the pre-market that you can fill this in. But for the most part, I think this is what we're looking for. We're looking for a breakout here. Right, want to break out here into 13.50. That is what we want to see there. I don't think we'll get to 14.13 right away, but we want to see a breakout here. We're starting to get the volume. We're testing it already, right? We're hitting 12.42 right on the dot, which is the previous day close from yesterday. We just need to get some momentum going here for DD. And here is Citigroup. Citigroup, as far as levels towards the bottom, you're pretty much set. Great area of support down here, guys. Right now, price action is sitting right at the highs from the last 2 trading days, right on here. So let's see what it does there. That has also been a good area of support and resistance for this stock. So let's see how that plays out. If we were to break out of that, the next level I see is 71.14. Great area of resistance right on there. And then slightly above that, you do have another one at 72.67. Let's see how Citigroup is going to play out. I like their pre-market action right now, looking really nice this morning. And they got some decent volume. 682 is amazing volume for Citigroup. All right, let's see. What do we have? Yes, more moderators with their list. Let's take a look at that. Let's bring this over. And here's what we have. So Eamon's looking at Disca, BE, DKNG, secondary list, PLTR, FSLY, AMD, and CGC. Peter is looking at AMD, Apple, Microsoft, Delta, American Airlines, Space, and BABA. These last 4 on his secondary list, which again, you could really make a main list just out of this alone. So pretty good list there, Peter. Jarad is adding AMC, hitting 50 SMA there as well. And also looking at, just BABA. I think BABA is really in play this morning. Brian is looking at DTSS, Apple, BABA, American Airlines, and XLA or Zila, however you want to say that. This morning, that is a low flow stock, so be very, 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 very careful. All right, guys, over on YouTube, hit that thumbs up. We're going to be going live with Brian and Thor very shortly here. So let's make sure we slam those likes, guys. Give these guys some support and also support our channel. Again, that little gesture does a whole lot for us here. So we really, really appreciate it when you do that. So let's see how many likes we're at. Can we get to, I don't even know. Can we get 50 more? I think we definitely get 50 more. Whatever the number is, we can get 50 more. All right, so we'll do that. All right, guys, we are set. Anything else that we might have missed? Like we almost missed the levels here. Does not look like it. I think we're pretty much set. So we'll wait for Brian and Thor to fire up their stations and join us here. We'll transition. Do not leave, guys. We'll be up and running shortly with some live trading this morning. So
hey, good morning, Carlos.
Hey, good morning. Oh, I see you're coming in. You're coming in through my through the chat room. Hold on a second. Let's see if I can set you up that way. Ah, there we go.
Yeah, good morning. Thank you for taking us through the stocks in play here. I already traded DTIS from this 550 where it got a pop over 6, so
very
really
nice.
Already got a good start on the day.
So you got DTSS. Is it the second day in a row that you're able to get something going in the free market?
Yep.
and I see you're already celebrating with some background music.
Yeah, I should shut that off actually, because we can't be playing music while we're on YouTube.
Yes.
Right, I don't know. It's dance music. Yeah, no, it's love Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young, or just the 3, whatever. Good way to wake up at 6 in the morning.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
All right, so we got all the indexes up today. So, what's going on? The dollar's down. I took took a position in gold finally. Been watching that for a while. Looks like it's starting to break out. It's a swing position. TLT, what are we doing this morning? TLT's up, means yields are down a bit. We had that big pop up yesterday in yields. I'm sure Jarad talked a bit about that this morning, possibly in the Morning Engineering the Market show. Oatly fraud allegations. That sounds interesting. I like the sound of that.
Yeah, those are always fun.
Yeah, that could be a good short. Have shares for short. Yes, we do. So I might add shortly to my list. I'm really going to focus on DTSS. I think it's going to be a great little play this morning. We'll definitely get some action out of it. It might pull back at the open. We'll get a bit of a pullback before we get the serious buying coming in on that one. So,
all right, there he is. Thor has joined. So I'm going to hop off, guys. Trade safe over on YouTube. Smash that thumbs up as we stay live with Brian and Thor. Take care, guys. Trade safe.
Hey, good morning, Brian.
Hey, good morning. You're looking good, buddy.
Hey, thanks. Yourself as well. Looking fresh, ready to trade this morning.
Oh, yeah.
I was liking the jams in the background, but you're right. YouTube gets all upset about that kind of stuff. So I'm a little weirded out right now by the SPY. I'm not really sure what this price action is or what's going on or something like that. The SPY yesterday had this really big upside down hammer, looked pretty sketchy, and then
Yeah.
now today we're kind of opening really high in the range. But I don't know how to describe the volume profile that's going on right now, but it kind of did this really hard squeeze almost up to, right 2 days ago's like high, and then it's just been sitting here. So I really don't know what to make of this thing just yet. I'll have to watch it open and see what happens.
Yeah, I know this. It is strange. The SPY did put in a pretty ugly doji candle, gravestone doji as they call them.
Yeah, exactly.
Well off the highs of the day. Basically, didn't made a high and then pulled back, pretty much closed flat. So yeah. So
I mean, it would put in a pretty classic pattern if it doesn't make it above yesterday's high and then actually reinverts and closes low, then it really starts to look like a gravestone on the daily, big isolated pivot. I mean, it actually could be a pretty interesting signal there if that sets up, but can't make any assumptions with the SPY. This thing just seems to want to go up. But I'm always ready for it to go the other direction. It just keeps doing what it's doing.
That's right.
I don't know why.
No, you can't. Yeah, don't fight the Fed. Don't fight the SPY. So let's just see here. Get things set up for the day. I'm going to put an entry here on DTSS a little bit lower. Set a limit order. Yeah, like an Oatly as a rising devil trade, possibly. JD is looking kind of interesting. It's kind of lagging. Well, Billy's up a bit. But I guess the big news is Baba and Tencent. Where is
I'd like to thank Apple for throwing a weird late print now and completely jacking my chart.
Oh yeah, there you go. Yeah, look at it, eh? Yeah, it printed right at yesterday's close. Printed right there. Yeah, and that's a weird 8 o'clock candle too, eh? Like that. Call it the tinfoil line.
Yeah, I'm telling you, there's some weird stuff going on right now. I got like the heebs, the old heebie-jeebies. Something's just not firing right. The SPY is super low volume on this weird squeeze. Things are throwing just these bizarre prints. I don't know. I don't like it. We'll see what happens. NEO's running right now for some reason.
Yeah, CLDX, big gap day yesterday, obviously on some news. I don't know. Hang on a sec. What's going on with CLDX? Let's take a boo.
Kevin, it's hard to make that call until it happens. One thing that Brian and I were both very similar with is we analyze price action kind of at the moment. So we isolate stocks that we want to play because they have certain kinds of volume or patterns or order flow, price action, catalyst, things that gravitate us to them. But other than that, we kind of make a general idea of what our biases are, but we try not to get too stuck in, if the market does this, then I'm going to do this, because the stock may actually not respond the way we would expect. The market could start to sell off, but the stock itself that we're watching, due to one reason or another, could actually just consolidate or even rise against it. So if the market starts to sell off, I might just short the SPY, to be honest. It's in the high range. It's got the weird volume. So I might just hit the ETF and have some fun.
Yeah. Getting a bit of a pop here again on DTS.
DTS. That was the acronym that we're done too soon.
DTS. The deets. Let's call it the deets. Yeah, CLDX. I mean, you had one. I guess it was Monday. Had a big gap up, faded off the high quite a bit, and then you had another day yesterday. We were up quite a bit. Again, came back up, but again, this sort of 45 level looks like resistance, and it's had such a big gap up. It's really over. It looks a little overbought. Probably needs to do some consolidation. Yeah, I mean, you never know. It might go higher, but certainly it's quite extended from the moving averages right now. So it might need to pull in a bit here. I mean, I don't like the risk to reward for taking it long now. Don't go DTS. Give us a bit of a pullback at the open. What do we got here? We got 3.5 minutes left.
I don't like nothing. None of these stocks are really opening where I want them to be for me to trade. I have a feeling I'm going to end up not trading a lot at the open. Maybe Apple and Microsoft are kind of in a good spot. I can probably play those, but I don't know. Level 2 on DTSS. I personally won't be playing that because I don't like it when I don't have shorts because I just feel like I'm only looking for longs at that point, which may or not be a good thing. Right now, DTSS is throwing a lot of volume, and it's got a fairly balanced level 2. I've got fair orders to both sides, so we might consolidate into the open. So we'll probably stay between this 660 to maybe 680 range. And stay in here, and then we'll have to see what happens when it opens to make more decisions. Because we really don't have a lot of large orders stepping out away from the price in any given direction. So we'll kind of have to roll the momentum. Float's probably a little. What's low float on this one? A little low. 6.4 mil. 6.5. That's a little low. Not the lowest. I mean, I've seen.
Yeah, not really low, but it's definitely it's under 10 million. So no, yeah.
Is that what do you think? What's your when you go say low float? What's under 10 is technically low float for you?
Well, generally, people it's sort of open to it's definitely open to interpretation, but anywhere people use anywhere between 10 and 20 as a low float. Certainly when you're around 5, it's definitely into the low float territory. And I'll be back in a sec.
For sure. Yeah, Billy, I think Baba's pretty interesting today. I think the catalyst that it has is viable. I mean, that's certainly a fair catalyst. Did a big breakout already. So the question for me is going to be, which way do we play this thing? And I'm thinking what you're thinking. Maybe we fill the gap that it, that it kind of had a little bit. So maybe we sell off for a bit, get a few things going and then go into a big rally or something. So, I mean, it could go either way, but it's definitely a spot where we can play it. It's just a little overextended for me to try and get long at this point. Yeah, so I'd probably look for a squeeze and then, drop or something.
I would like to see a bit of a pullback on it to get another
10 seconds to the open, my friends. Good luck.
Okay, guys. Diddly doodly.
Y'all. Let's have some fun.
Let's have some raucous fun. Okay, here we go.
Ding,
come on,
ding, ding.
Pull back. It's going to go to 7 maybe.
SPY being very aggressive at the moment, but it keeps getting pushed down hard.
AL popped up. Just keeping an eye on Oatly too.
There we go. I'm short SPY. Oh, what a horrible fill on that partial.
Just got short some
All right, I'm out the
Oatly.
rest. Yeah, now it's
Just got
squeezing.
long some DTS again. All right, here we go. Here we go. Just sold some here at
And she's
70.
gone.
Come on. Oatly sell not selling off quite yet here.
Apple's running up with a bullish ladder. It did its break, retested R4, and is starting to go. So that's kind of fun.
Just keeping an eye on Deets here. So he gets back to the VWAP.
What is the SPY doing?
Oh, darn. I think I didn't get a fill
SPY
on
is
that.
just ripping towards yesterday's high.
Yeah, I did add some Oatly. There we go. Now Oatly's finally dropping a bit. I'm gonna cover some Oatly here at 1999 filled, just because it's just not really cooperating. Still sticking with this Deets, the Deets. Not liking the way it's looking here. Selling off a bit more. I still think it's going to kind of bounce off the VWAP here. Got a bit of a add there. Going to sell some here at 594 off that 577 fill. The longer it stays here, the more nervous I'm getting about this second DTS trade. But let's see what we get here. Need to have some volume coming in. Sitting right around that fair value. It keeps banging its head on there. Come on. Do something.
Got a little short going on Microsoft here at VWAP. Man, that breakdown bought right back up. Come on now.
Just going to take some more off there at 6 on this DTS. It's really making me a little nervous. about how long it's staying here. Volume's really tapering off on it. Come on.
Yeah, all right, there we go. Nice breakdown on Microsoft here.
Yeah, if we lose the VWAP, I'll be out of DTSS. It's kind of a disappointment. Hasn't really done much yet. The JD's been selling off. Oatly never did sell off. AAL's popping out here.
Here we go. All right, partial Microsoft. Bam. There we go.
Just got along some AAL. Still got some DEETs here, whatever that means. Sounds like a disease.
Or something you used to keep mosquitoes away or something.
Something like that, yeah. Exactly. AAL's looking good.
All right. More out Microsoft. Took a minute for me to find something, but we got it going. I almost shorted Apple at pre-market high. I should have.
Yeah,
Off of
it looks like
149,
it, yeah.
but the ask was too strong, so I didn't
Pop
want
and
to
drop.
go against such a bullish looking stock.
Okay, AAL's now pulling back. After that nice, looked like it was going to break out there. Come on, here we go, AAL.
All right, today could actually be a pretty big trend down day if this thing loses.
Just selling a
Nice,
little bit of
JP.
AAL here, 33.
Like candle on AAL. I can't even handle it.
Yeah.
Wow, okay. AAL's still looking really strong to the top side.
Yeah, that's I'm still sticking with AAL. Oatly's squeezing people.
Nice. You got some weight back down in the 20s, like near like 2080, but that's pretty far out of range compared to everything that's like right at 2145 up through like 2160. That's some pretty good stuff there.
Yeah. I think it's going to go.
Good.
Yeah.
I think you're good. It looks like it wants to pop up. Come on, market makers, make some money.
There's a fair amount of liquidity up there. There we go. Whew. Qualcomm, baby. Jeez. Oh, look at Oatly go. Oh, Oatly's just squeezing like crazy. I didn't see that coming. I'm out of AAL. I don't like that, and I'm thinking about getting out of DTS too. DEETs. I'm out of it. Just don't like the way it's trading. So I lost some money on that second DEETs trade. Still positive on the day, but
out some Microsoft here at pre-market low. We're getting underneath yesterday's close right now. So all good things here. That's just got over goal on Microsoft. So got my trade.
Nice.
I'm in from a little bit above 282. So already got about almost $1.50 out of it. Not bad.
Not decent. Good one.
Not bad.
AMC dropping hard. I'm looking at JD too. JD's dropping. Need to get a bounce on JD for a entry. Still keeping an eye on beats, but it's just the volume is just dropping off here. It doesn't have the order flow I would hope for. Stupid AAL. Is AAL and ALs? No, it's Qs. Huh. Oh, C is City is going up nicely too.
Really big squeeze on Microsoft just started. Really high movement on really low volume. That's really nuts.
Yeah, long AMC. Jared's getting long AMC. So JD is not giving me a bounce here to short it off of. I am not seeing anything I'm crazy about trading right now. C is pulling back here.
I'm going to try and add in some shares to my short on Microsoft here at VWAP. Bring my average cost down a little bit because on that pullback. But if it pops through 281.90, I'm out. But I like kind of this really hard squeeze back to VWAP on really low volume. Looks kind of like a bearish squeeze. So we'll add into that and see what happens.
Huh. The Chinese internet ETF went red on the day.
Right, I'm cutting it. I'm out.
Yeah, so what's Baba doing? Baba's probably selling off too.
Cool.
Yeah. Cool beans.
Made money today. All right, what else we got? All right, Baba's getting down near that previous daily level. This is actually where I was hoping to get Baba long from. So let's keep an eye on this thing. It'd be nice to have a solid volume spike here. But let's see if it double bottoms. Nice, Billy. Good job, buddy. You got that thing short all the way back. We were just like we were talking about, huh? Way to execute, brother.
Looking at C, just holding the VWAP here. It's not going to hold. Interesting. It might be coming down.
Which one are you in right now, Brian?
I'm not in anything. I'm looking at C. I'm thinking about the 920 trade here, so I'm waiting for it to come down to the 20, which is around just under 70. So it might take a
So
long
when
hit
you
right
play
here
that, you're using like when it rejects the 9 and then crosses the 20, and
and
then
just
you
comes
take it.
down
Is
to
that how you
and
guys do that?
bounces off the 20. So I'm looking for a bounce here off the 20. It did lose
Oh,
the
I see.
VWAP, which makes me a little bit nervous, but we'll see what it does. It needs to hold this level right here, otherwise I'm going to get stopped out. I'm also watching JD to see if it can get back to the 9 moving average. Yeah, I'm out of C. It couldn't hold. It's really weak. What's going on? The SPY. XLF is actually just flirting with going red on the day. Oh, dang. JD is just not stopping.
KD for me is one of those stocks that I could watch every single day and not get a move on it, and then take it off my list and have it run for the entire day. I do not know what happens with me in this stock, but I'm never seem to be watching it at the right time.
Yeah.
Nice sell off though.
Yeah. It looks like it's trying to hold here, so we may get a bounce up to
Yeah.
the
Right on
9.
top of S4, you can get some pretty extreme reversals here. But it'd be nice to see like larger volume at this level. We are setting value here, or at least we're trying to, but I don't see any like major like initiation or volume spike that tells me we do have some orders still lingering at 74.50. So maybe it's just kind of chopping above this big order.
74.50 is S4.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And we've got a 200, almost 300 lot sitting there. Not a huge order, but pretty big.
Well, not as
And
good
that
as
might be a
open.
wall. It might bounce off of it because there's not
Yeah.
really anything below that.
Not a great open to trade. It's been DTA. Dietz was a real disappointment. It looked like it was one of those ones where it would look, could have gone to $10, short order, but you just can't figure out any rhyme or reason as to what makes these things go and what doesn't.
Nice, Jeff. I was looking at Neo. I had trouble deciphering what I was looking at because you kind of had like 2 hammers and then 2 indecision candles, but it stayed below R3 the whole time. It could have been a really good short if I'd have played it right. I wish I had shorted that thing, but I had a little trouble with spotting it.
Yeah, Baba is really selling off here. And lots of choppy stuff here.
That's awesome.
AAL's come back to the VWAP and trying to hold there. Yeah, Apple's just at a chop fest, basically. QCOM. I had some QCOM calls. They just skyrocketed, so I was just selling those.
Yeah, there goes SPY.
Oh, yeah.
SPY just
choppy.
rolled over. Yeah, SPY and Qs. So you're seeing some tech drop now.
Yeah, XLF is gone red, which is the ETF for the financials. Oatly is just ugly the way it's trading. I'm not seeing anything I'm really crazy about trading. I mean, AAL maybe might be holding the VWAP, but I don't trust any bounces right now. AMC is coming back up. I think that if Jarad held through that little bit of a flush, that worked.
Keeping an eye on Baba here. It bounced right off of that previous daily level.
Yeah, I'm looking at JD right now. Possible short here. See what it does. It's at the 9 right now. Still not positioning, no position yet here. Maybe if it gets to the VWAP. JD VWAP at 40. The thing I don't like about that trade is the 9 moving average is kind of flattening out. Okay, I'll take a small short on JD because I'm bored here. 75.06 filled. But this is again, I'm just looking for a continuation move. Lower, but it's like I said, I don't
love
really
the board
like.
trade.
Yeah, I'm
I'm
just
taking
a
the board
small.
trade. Let's do this.
Yeah, just a small size. I don't like the way the 9 moving average is flattened out here. Usually in a trend, you've got the 9 continuing to go lower.
I got a little long going on Baba, in from around 213 and a quarter. Let's see if this thing holds. If it comes back down and loses, I'll be ever so paper handed as usual and bail out. But I kind of like the way it responded to that daily level.
Okay, still holding on to JD here. See what it does. It's not really. It did reject from the from that VWAP level. So let's just see. Get back to this 74.50-ish area. Yeah, not a kind of a choppy day so far. It's been some pretty strange price action. Seed, it looked like it was going to break out. AAL looked like it was going to break out, then it's pulled back. Actually, AAL would have been a good trade off the VWAP there. Things to me seem like they're just sort of settling into a range. There's just doesn't seem to be a whole lot of direction one way or another at this point. Maybe JD's trying to hold this to put in a higher low here. Apple's popping back up again, but it's trading pretty range bound. AL looks like it might break out here, but again, the way the day's going, I don't trust it. I'm out of JD. It's just looks like it's going to put in a higher low here. So Baba looks like it might be putting in a bit of a bottom here too.
Fingers crossed.
K-Web has come back up here. So you're long, Baba?
Yes, sir.
All right. That looks...
I'm in from about 213.25.
Looks pretty good.
When it made that, yeah, I've been holding it for a bit. I'm about 10 or 15 minutes into this position. Been just kind of letting it roll, but it's giving me a time to work on some hotkeys, hot buttons. I'm setting my Stream Deck with some new hot buttons. Which works amazingly.
Yeah, AL rejected again. And you got to be careful with levels this morning. Can't be chasing things. Got to be really strategic this morning. SPY looks like it's going to drop here. Apple's looks like it's trying to go the other direction.
This is more of what I was expecting out of a SPY. I told you that volume this morning looked weird.
All right. SPY's coming back up here. It was a bit of a fall. It looked like it was going to break down, and then it just did a false breakdown. Maybe DTSS is going to start to rock and roll here again. It's like this is this pattern where they pop up, short these low floats, pop up, find an area where they just consolidate, and then Eventually you get a little pop. We'll see what happens. I'll try a little long here on DTSS. 530, 532 filled. Just see what, see if it's going to do its little consolidation pop here. Keep a tight stop on it. And the way things are going, keeping it small size too. So we'd be looking for some volume to come in here. Ooh, JD's popping up here. JD might actually go green on the day.
There we go. Come on, Baba. Let's get going. Baba is crossing VWAP.
Mm-hmm. I'm long a little bit of JD as well. See if we can get through 76. Here we go, 76. Getting out of DTS, it's just I get a feeling it's not going to go. Feels like it's going to flush rather than pop up here. Yeah, nice, nice reversal on the on some of these Chinese stocks. Yeah, there goes the ETSS. I kind of felt like it wasn't. You kind of feel that every little pop it was getting sold, and I didn't like the spread on it too, because a couple cents on this stock is not a good indication either. Well, you're still in Baba.
Yep. Yeah, I've
Okay.
moved to break even on it. So if it comes actually a little bit above, if it comes back under 213.75, I'm gonna probably cut the position there. But as long as it holds here, I'm gonna just keep holding this thing. No partials yet. I used a pretty wide stop, so I need to get somewhere around like back near probably back near high a day before I can comfortably get a good partial.
Cool. Yeah, I'm still in JD. I'm looking for it to go back. Maybe get green on the day. Here we go. Looks like JD is going to try to get through. Get back green on the day. Baba kind of looks stalled out here.
Yeah, it's not really moving as quickly as I would have hoped.
Yeah.
But I don't know, maybe we'll get there.
Yeah, you never know. It's still making a series of higher lows, so So how is everyone else doing? You got I know is this CGOC or SGOC, I should say. I saw that back in play on the scanner. Twitter's been popping up on the scanner. TLT's gone green, which means yields are dropping. Oracle having another good day. You need some oil there, Thor.
I need a new chair. Yeah, I've been wanting to get. I want to get one of those cool new chairs, but this one is. I mean, you move 1 inch, and it just squeaks all over the place.
Yeah, Neo's
Tin
popping
Man
up here.
style. Maybe I just need to get a little oil on it or something.
Yeah. JD pulling back a bit here. I think we're maybe running out of steam on this trade. Yeah, everything's kind of a bit of a chop fest here. Apple just chopping along here in a kind of a narrow range. AAL does look like it's finally going to try to break out here. Yeah, well, I'm out of just cutting JD on the rest of that trade. Back flat on the rest. Amazon's up again today.
Yeah,
Yeah.
never stops that one.
No, I know. It just keeps going. Yeah, nice. You had Twitter on your list, but you didn't. You didn't take it. Log off. What you traded Oxy? Nice. Long, and you took it short. Nice. Well, I'm really one trade I regret not taking is I really wanted to take sell some AMC calls and just go short
How
it
did
that
AMC
way.
do today?
Oh, it's dropping. It's been This was
Oh,
back
yeah.
on Monday. I was looking at AMC calls, thinking, yeah, it might be. It looks like it's kind of rolling over on a daily.
That'll work for sure.
Yeah, the premium
It's been a
is
straight
high,
dive since
on
then.
those. Yeah. C'est la vie. What's going on with I only sell call. Yeah, well, in this market, well, the strategy the strategy I've been using is to sell calls against stocks that are popping up after earnings. Because in this market, it's like everything's baked in. Good news is baked in. So that's what happened last earnings season. I did that a few times on stocks. They reported good earnings, the stocks just didn't react after kind of an initial pop. So I just used that initial pop as the as the top, and sold calls there, and But right now the premiums are pretty low, so it's not as lucrative this time. They got me figured out. I'd rather collect the premium. I mean, just because they've topped out doesn't mean they're going to pull back. I mean, they're strong, and then the market, the market's just strong. So getting a buying puts is there's a risk basically that they'll just expire worthless. I'd rather sell the premium and collect the money up front. It's just a different way to do it. Yeah, you could buy puts, but again, you don't necessarily expect a big drop either.
I went ahead and cut my BABA position. It just wasn't going anywhere, so I took it off and made like $20 on it or something like that, just so I could cover the comms. And then I'm watching Bank of America now. Bank of America came down into S6, which also happened to be at pre-market low, and has thrown some volume and is attempting to bottom. Only issue with BAC, a couple calls out, it still has plenty of downside liquidity. So we need to be mindful of that. But it certainly looks like it's attempting to put in a bottoming pattern right now. Very big level here on BAC off the weekly and the daily, actually, now that I'm looking a little more macro. You're looking at like 38.50 basically being the edge of a cliff. So if it drops off from 38.50, BAC looks like it could tumble for quite a while. So this is definitely going to be a support area.
Yeah, just not a lot of follow through today. AAL's been not a bad trader. I mean, it had a pretty big pullback to the VWAP. That was probably a trade I should have taken. That bounce off the VWAP on AAL back around 10. What was that? Right around 10.50. Had a nice held the VWAP, nice bounce back up. AMC is still looking weak here. It's right at S3 level, so that's maybe something Jarad would probably take long here, being the AMC specialist. What do we do with UAL? Wow, UAL was like good trading, but it's super choppy. Nice trades, log off. All right, guys, how's the day going? I'm green, but it's only because of that. I really made a pretty good hit on that DTSS at pre-market.
Yeah, BAC is moving down to that lower liquidity.
SPY is just kind of hanging on here. It's just chopping around the VWAP. We just get no movement at all on that. JD's coming back up. Maybe Baba's going to come back up here a bit too for you.
Well, Brian, I think I'm actually gonna go ahead and cut my day. I got rid of Baba because I didn't like where it was going. So, and I'm not seeing anything else that's setting up. So I'm just gonna call it before I start doing some board trading.
For sure, yeah.
So I might sit back down. I'll be back in around a little in the afternoon. Maybe see if something starts to kind of pop together. But
sounds good, man. Well, thanks for hopping on again this morning. Always good to trade with you, and
always.
We'll Thor, you'll be on a little later in the day, obviously.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Have a good one, everybody. Thank you, brother. See you later.
Cheers. All right. Well, I think we are going to wrap up with the YouTube feed as well, as Thor is dropping off, and he will be back on later for our members in the room. So anyway, I want to thank everybody for on YouTube for sticking with us this morning. Just remember to hit that thumbs up, the like button. Always appreciate that. It helps us with the channel, and you'll get notified when we're on. So I hope everyone had a good day. This was not, if I compare yesterday to today, this was not as easy a trading day today, but that's the way trading is. Sometimes it's easy, and sometimes it's not so easy. But we take each day as it comes. So, all right, guys. Well, I hope you all had a good day, and we'll see you tomorrow. Of course, as usual, 8 o'clock Engineering the Markets with Jarad, and 8:30 Pre-Market Show with Norm and Carlos. And so hopefully we'll see you then. Bye for now.